Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Raw Report, episode 2. I'm your host, Jerry, along with my co-host, Bones and X. We're here, second episode, the Raw Report, brand new podcast, brought to you by the Raw Fantasy Sports Organization. How you guys doing?
Lovely.
Same here, bro.
Cool, man. Cool, bro. Talk about these topics, man. Let's get it.
Well, they say Jimmy G is on the move. A lot of trade rumors going on. Where do you guys think he's going to end up? I mean, there's very limited spots around the league. I don't see him being anything else other than a bench player.
Yeah, I see him staying put at least for this year. If he doesn't get hurt, he'll probably play out the year. But they're going to keep Trey Lance. You know what I mean? I think they're going to keep him benched for another year. He's going to be an electric quarterback. So you want to protect him as much as you can while he's young. You know, if you figure you're going to keep him, you're looking at a $200 million contract if he plays good for the last 2 years. So just keep him on the bench, keep him on ice. We know what Jimmy G is, but we don't know what Trey Lance is. So, you know, keep your eggs in that basket, keep him as healthy as you can, and you know, unleash him next year when he has a little more experience under his belt. He's a small quarterback, so he's not going to be, you know, you can't just throw him into the fire like they did last year on certain plays. But, you know, they sprinkled him in. I think this year as well, they'll sprinkle him in on certain plays. But as far as, you know, leading the franchise forward, I think it's still Jimmy G for this year. And then maybe next year, we'll see what happens in like a Minnesota or the Lions or, you know, another team that may need another quarterback. We'll see what happens where, you know, where Jimmy G goes. I think it'll be next year.
Oh, he's gone. That boy gone. I have a feeling it might be Atlanta, but he's gone. I mean, you don't take somebody in the top 5 and expect your veteran quarterback with a huge contract to be like, okay, I'm fine here. This is all right. No, it's not. Your replacement walked into the building. That boy gone.
Yeah, I definitely see Trey Lance taking over the starting role over at San Francisco, man. I think that kid has a lot more potential, maybe better luck than what Jimmy Garoppolo has had up to this point. Seems like he can be very consistent, but at some point, it looks like he's just facing a lot of injuries. And I don't see that working out. I mean, it was kind of funny him coming over from the Patriots. Maybe this indicates that perhaps Belichick was wrong about him. I've heard of rumors about him going to Tampa, though I don't really think that's possible or it's going to happen. I don't see Brady taking that up, but maybe he'll just stay put on the 49ers. They'll see what he gets out of the starting, you know, few weeks of the season. If something goes south, they'll probably put in, you know, Trey Lance in there. But yeah, man, I don't really see anything going on for Jimmy until maybe his contract is up and maybe he can end up in a different situation.
Yeah. Let's not forget, you know, he just lost the Super Bowl a few years ago. He led them to the Super Bowl, got injured. That's what made them take Trey Lance because they felt like he couldn't take them back to the promised land. And then last year happens where he takes them to the NFC Championship game after beating the Packers. You know, you may not believe it. It doesn't look pretty on paper, but Jimmy Garoppolo knocked out Aaron Rodgers with the rest of the team. You know, so it's more than just a quarterback. And, you know, Jimmy Garoppolo can be a key piece for, you know, a franchise that doesn't want to spend too much money on a quarterback and has a solid defense, solid running game, solid O-line. And you could just plug him in into a lot of different systems and he can play out.
I disagree. I disagree with you, my boy. Want to know why? This is the NFL. Yeah, you're one shot to go ahead and show what you're made of. Your legacy's made in the postseason. That man's has gotten 2 chances at that apple. The big one, he showed that he couldn't win the big game in the Super Bowl. And then when he had a chance to redeem himself in the NFC Championship, he showed the same shit again. He can't do it. He can't lead them down the field. He can't make the play when it counts. Can't read defenses, underthrows, overthrows. The man, like, he can't even run, and he's athletic. He's no Peyton Manning. That boy has a nice build. He can move.
He took him top. He's not a top 4 QB, but he ended up top 4 QBs in the last 3 years. I'm not a Jimmy Garoppolo, you know, rider, but he's an average quarterback. He's a below average quarterback, but he can get the job done.
He's an average quarterback at best, bro. Trent Dilfer did better in the Super Bowl than Jimmy Garoppolo.
Right, and Trent Dilfer was the third string quarterback that year.
I think Jimmy G has shown us who he is. And a once in a while okay game manager, and that's it. I mean, nothing comes out the top of my head of a game that you're like, yo, that's the Jimmy G game. Not
That's
once.
is
Not once.
the game manager. He's not, an MVP quarterback. He's not gonna win any trophies, any single accolades or anything like that. However, when you don't have a good team, when you have a quarterback, you probably don't have a good team. And if you have an average quarterback, then you probably have a great team. And you're making it, you know?
Well, we'll see. I think his time in San Fran is coming to an end. Maybe not the league. Maybe there's another home from him out there. There's a couple of needy quarterback teams that are willing to take, the last few years of that contract. But the era of Jimmy G in San Fran, it's a wrap.
Yeah, and as we move forward, I'm hearing Deshaun Watson is not going to be suspended by the league, so he's expected to play and start the full season, guys. We're expecting very great things coming out of Cleveland, and it seems like he's going to take over or inherit some of the things that Baker Mayfield is going on, which also has been traded, and we're going to get into that in a bit. But what can we expect from Deshaun Watson this season? I mean, he hasn't really played any football in almost 2 years. So, are you guys expecting anything to fly over at Cleveland?
What are you expecting, Bones?
4,500 yards through the air, 40 touchdowns, 7 on the ground. Top 10 fantasy pick, Deshaun Watson.
Win the Heisman too?
Listen. Look, before, when the news of him being traded out came out, you guys were there. I wanted him. I wanted him bad because that's a top 5 QB. It's a top 5 QB in NFL all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. That man had the Chiefs in Arrowhead. Almost crying. Up 21-0 in the playoffs.
Almost.
And then, the lucky bounce. Special teams really got the Chiefs back into it and whatnot. But quarterback-wise, Deshaun Watson did what he had to do. That man's a player. He's a stud. And I knew the moment the news came out that his $230 million deal is fully guaranteed. That right there told me that the owner of the Browns has the governor of Ohio in his back pocket. No man is going to make that heavy and that high of an investment without immediate results of some sort. You think he was going to miss the year? Nah, that boy playing every game.
Okay, all right.
He's going to all the signings. He's not missing a beat.
Here we go. My colleague just admitted on national YouTube that Deshaun Watson have 47 touchdowns. Are you kidding me? Let's be a little more realistic. First of all, he has the best running back he's probably ever had in Nick Chubb. Then the second best running back he's ever had in Kareem Hunt. That's 2 reasons why 47 touchdowns. Another thing, he has Amari Cooper. Now we know, Amari Cooper is no DeAndre Hopkins. However, I think this is going to be the biggest run-heavy offense that he's ever been in. So all the 4,000, 5,000 yards, 30, 40 touchdowns that he was doing on the Texans, I think that comes down a bit. Let's say he misses a game, 2, 3 games. He's not getting 4,000 yards or 5,000 yards. Or, he won't have that breakout quarterback year. He'll have a 26 touchdowns, 10 interceptions type of year with a heavy running game, in my opinion.
You're right. You are right about that. Extremely right. He has 2 great running backs at his disposal. And we'll see how that goes. He may have 4,000 total yards, with the running, the run option. They'll probably add a little pitch and play, with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. We'll see how that goes. But I expect a stellar year from Deshaun Watson, who, in my humble opinion, aside all allegations, is a top 5 quarterback in this league.
Yeah, for sure. That's no doubt. I mean, I think as soon as he can shake off the rust that he built up over the time that he's been sitting at home or or doing side training away from the team, I think he's gonna shake off the rust and he's gonna get back to his former self. He's gonna put up immaculate stats. He as you know as they've reported, he's probably settled over 20 of those cases up to this point. There have been no criminal charges. But he's gonna put a phenomenal season. I think he's gonna put up close to maybe 5,000 yards and about 30 touchdowns. Maybe 8 picks.
No.
So I think he's gonna go back to his former self and he's gonna do work for Cleveland, who we all know damn well needs it. And speaking of Cleveland, Baker's been traded to the Carolina Panthers, making Robbie Anderson's wildest dreams come true.
He's mad. He's big mad right now for sure. However, I think Baker could have a decent year, guys. I think he has he has a better defense than he did last year. And they had a great defense. So this year, the Panthers are so they could have a bit of a no-name defense. However, they're young. They still have McCaffrey. Last time I checked, they still have a few pieces at receiver. They got Robbie Anderson. They still got DJ Moore. So let's see if maybe Greg Olsen comes back. You never know. Year 35, and he comes back. Makes that team a little better. I don't know. Let's see what they do. But I think Baker's in that same category with the Garoppolos. He's in that same category. If he's not below average, he's like the number 2 best QB in the league. I mean, the number 32 best QB in the league.
Well, look. Baker's wishes got answered. Let's be honest. And if he doesn't realize it, man's an idiot. He's probably gone to one of the most wide open divisions in the NFL. Okay, all right. Brady came back. Whatever. That's not a long-term, it's not a long-term answer in that division, and everybody in the league knows it. Brady at this point is year by year. Aside from that, the Saints, no QB. Panthers right now, aside from Baker, no franchise QB. Falcons traded away Matty Ice away to the Colts. So it's wide open. It's an almost wide open division. All right. Moving forward, Baker should see this as a golden opportunity to take over a division that, frankly, has one of the best players available at his disposal in Christian McCaffrey. And his best friend is going to have to become Robbie Anderson at some point. But hopefully, Baker, lives up to the competition and puts on a good show for the season. If that man can't do anything, is entertain the crowd. He did it in Oklahoma. I hope he does it over here. And week 1 is versus the Browns.
Yeah. You know what? And I think the Panthers could take it. How about that?
They could. They very
well could.
Is it in Cleveland?
Ooh, good question.
That's a good question. But it's definitely time for Baker to redeem himself. This is redemption. And if you can take the Panthers to the playoffs, bro, I mean, that's going to be a hands down the starting job. He's probably going to get a nice deal out of that situation. And I definitely see Carolina trading Robbie Anderson at some point. He personally came out on a press conference talking about the media making stuff up or whatever. I mean, he kind of negatively tweeted him, previously in the offseason about him not wanting him potentially on the Panthers. But I see Robbie Anderson perhaps playing a third receiver in the Packers or something. But let's see how that works out. But the Baker could definitely take it the distance. If he really has that fire in him, he's gonna take him very far into the playoffs, guys. I mean, it's redemption time. I think Baker has that fire in him right now. He has a lot to prove still, and a lot of left in the tank.
Yeah, a lot of dance moves left in the tank for sure.
A lot of commercials.
He still got commercials and dance moves, but I don't know about on the field. I don't see him being not even below average. He's below average. He's like, very much so below average. He's not in that top 25 QB debate. Other teams have better backups than Baker. Baker is a backup to Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold could win that job. And Robbie was he's a Sam Darnold guy. That's his guy. He wants to back him up. So let's see if Darnold will stay healthy and Baker won't even touch the field. If Darnold wins out, let's see how he plays in the mini camps.
Let's see how the offseason goes because they still got to compete for that job. I mean, I also don't believe that it's 100% Baker's job secured because they do have two starting quarterbacks. But if
Right.
Sam Darnold can't prove himself, in this offseason program, definitely Baker has a shot of taking, the
Oh yeah,
starting job.
they're both on the hook because if Baker balls out, then he's gonna get paid, and then if Darnold balls out, then he's gonna get paid. So someone's gonna win, someone's gonna lose, and it could be two losers actually. You know, so we'll see what happens in Carolina. They could both lose and this end up being the worst team in the league and get another QB next year. Who knows?
So what do you guys think about Trevor Lawrence and these Jaguars? Do you think these guys are getting any better this year? I know that they got Doug Peterson now, the Super Bowl winning championship head coach, after a disastrous season with Urban Meyer. What do you guys think is going to happen with Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence?
Sunshine is gonna rain in Jacksonville.
Sunshine.
It's gonna be sunshine. Sunshine's gonna be like, okay, I got a coach now that knows what he's doing, knows how to run plays, and he's getting his best friend back in Travis Etienne, who, to me, out of his draft year, was one of the best running backs coming out. I mean, to me, that boy looked like prime Kareem Hunt. So he didn't play at all last year. Got hurt. He's healthy now. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Jacksonville is full of high first and second round picks. Hopefully they put it together and put a little good product out there on the field.
Yeah, I think Jacksonville's going to be awful this year. I think last year they were really bad, obviously, with
They're
Urban Meyer
horrendous.
not even knowing who Aaron Donald was. That was really bad. That was probably the
Terrible.
and then he was at the club with a chick on his lap, staying, not catching the team plane. He was staying in Ohio, trying to be slick. He's just, it was a bad move last year. This year they move on to of course, they got Doug Peterson. Let's see exactly what he brings to the table. He's gonna bring some more discipline. Let's see if he can have a winning effect on this team because they truly need it. I think they still in for another bad year before Trevor can take off. Perhaps maybe next year after they retool or something. But I don't think they have enough on offense or defense to even win more than 6-7 games max. I think the Jaguars will be in the top 5 picks next year.
Yeah, I
Question,
definitely
question,
agree with that. That's for
question for you
sure.
guys. Any fantasy worthy type draft players coming out of Jacksonville?
You're talking about ETN. You're talking about the other receiver. This kid. Everybody was high on last.
Oh, Shark, no? That's his last name?
Chark, and they had another guy that everyone was drafting. I think he had the dreadlocks. Number 11 was it? I think. What's his name? I forgot his name. But we in fantasy, I think I had him, or a few of us had him from the Jag. Obviously, I can't remember his name. I can't remember everybody in the league. However, he was young and he was good. But whatever. Anyways, the Jaguars are gonna be awful. So if they'll be any good, remember his name for sure.
Yeah, the Jaguars are going to be awful. They're probably going to have another losing season. They're definitely going to have more wins than they had last season. That's for sure. But I think Doug Peterson provides that offensive genius that perhaps Trevor Lawrence needs to, unlock his potential. But as of right now, I really don't think they're much better than they were last year. It would be nice to see them bring some life back into their division, back to their city. Everybody knows it's been very rough for the Jaguars. They pretty much have made nothing happen. But yeah, it's probably going to be another losing season for the Jaguars, and hopefully Doug Peterson can dig them out of that hole within the next 2-3 seasons.
Yeah, I think it's time for the Jaguars to stay awful. And moving on, we have a lot of other young QBs in the mix too. So who you guys feeling? We got Mac Jones in New England. We have a young we even have Herbert still. He's still young if we're talking about it. We still got
Herbert
Herbert.
has a lot to do. I'm rooting for him this season, man.
Got Burrow to talk about. We still got Jalen Hurts. So who you guys have as the next breakout? Like another young QB who's on the rise who can, really make some noise this year, maybe in his second year or maybe even his rookie year.
Tua Tagovailoa.
Is that your hometown bias, Bones?
I'm not gonna talk about what I expect out of Tua Tagovailoa, who is entering his third year, only his third year. I feel like we don't need to talk about Justin Herbert because Justin Herbert established himself as a
I'd say
franchise QB.
these young QBs year 2 or younger, or rookie year or year 2.
He
You
is the
got
standard right now. And young QBs, well, you know what? Now, no, a second quarterback entered the chat. Joey Cool, Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
Yo,
Joey's on the redemption tour as well. I know that that loss last year has got to her. He's taking it personal, but I think he's bound to flourish further than what he already has. He surprised me last season when he bounced back from that knee injury, and he bounced back quick. So for him to go that distance a year after he got injured, it's amazing. I think he's gonna have another breakout season. He's gonna bring a lot of glory back to Cincinnati. That's definitely somebody to look out for. And I also got my money on Herbert, man. I'm definitely rooting for him. I think he's going to break out, especially for fantasy owners this season. He's going to be definitely a top 10 QB to pick up. I wouldn't say he's QB1, maybe QB5 or 6, but he's definitely going to do work this year, man.
yeah, him.
I haven't looked at the rankings to see where Herbert's going to be. However, I think this is a tough division. And when it's a tough division, I kind of stay away from it because it's going to be a slugfest, whether it's on offense or defense. And, he's a young guy. I don't know if I like him as far as QB 5, 6, but I think he's going to have some stats. Even if they win 7 games, he'll have stats. I agree with that.
Okay, all right. Who do you take? Joe Shiesty or Herbert?
I'm taking Joe, man. That's a pass heavy offense. He's in a division where everyone's leaning towards the offense. The Ravens aren't those same Ravens that we came up thinking about, and now it's an offensive team. Now, same thing with the Browns with Deshawn. Same thing, what I mean. You look around the league, everyone's going offense. There's some great defensive players in the league. However, it's a really pass heavy offense, and especially with Burrow and the weapons that he has at his disposal, it's unprecedented. And even Joe Mixon's one of the better running backs in the league, and he may not get the ball as much as he probably could, but I guess that's a way for them to keep him healthy. So the Bengals are just doing great all around.
They are, and they have Jamar Chase, another young wide receiver, another young ascending star. But no,
Young
yeah,
stud.
we got Zach Wilson, we got Fields, out in Chicago, we got Lance over there. Jordan Love still riding the bench out in Green Bay. Tua has has the mad genius McDaniel. What else? What else is Who else is young out there?
You like
About
Jordan Love is the heir after Aaron Rodgers is over?
look,
Hell no. Not a
look.
chance. Not a
Okay.
chance, man. Let's not even sit here and make things up, bro.
Okay, I'm just
That is
asking.
not.
I mean, that's what people said about A-Rod when they was like, "Oh, who is this?" Brett Favre still has like 5 years to play, and he rode the bench quietly for 3 seasons before he was able to do something. Who's to say? Who's to say? I mean, if there's anyone to learn from, he's learning from one of the goats.
Listen, I think the time is over. The Packers have had only 2 quarterbacks since like 93, 94. Yeah, that run is about to run. That luck is about to run out, man. I don't think the Packers have any more starting quarterbacks left. They're probably gonna go through a complete drought for a good 10 years. It happens with every team. They go up, they peak. You got to come down eventually, man. Nobody has that amount of consistency and doesn't come down from it. I mean, we're seeing it right now with the Patriots. 20 years straight of championship performance from Belichick and Brady, and you're gonna see where the Patriots end up. I mean, they're doing pretty decent, but it's not the same Patriots anymore, and it's gonna continue to downfall from here on out. I mean, the stock peaked, and we're definitely not going to see any more Patriots, championship runs for a long time. And I think the same thing is coming for the Packers. I mean, once Aaron Rodgers is out of the picture, I don't count on Jordan Love to take him the distance, bro. I mean, he's already wasting. Aaron Rodgers don't got nobody's back when it comes down to the bench. He's like, why am I going to train my replacement? You know what I mean? So that kid is just sitting on the bench. They're keeping him on ice. But I don't think he's gonna replace Aaron Rodgers in any way, shape, or form. He's probably going to take the team into a losing direction.
Okay,
You're right.
okay. as far as that, I think it's harder with with carrying the torch after great quarterbacks. You have your Brady. So how does a Mac Jones play? Mac Jones just got to win, and he threw what 3 passes in that game. So it just lets you know the coaching, and that stems down from the whole organization, down from the owner down. And as far as the Packers are concerned, I think Jordan Love, he may not be the guy, but it's hard to replace someone that's been balling out for 20 years. And Aaron Rodgers has nowhere near the amount of Super Bowls that Tom Brady has. We all know that. However, these guys are legendary QBs, and so was Brett Favre before him. So, it comes down to the ownership. I think there is no dynasties in football. And if there is, if there was one, it would be the Patriots. So let's not call them a dynasty when they didn't win a Super Bowl for what, 13 years, 14 years, right? They won 03, 04, and 01. They didn't win again till what, 2016, 2017, was it? So that's a big drop.
Nah, 2014.
Right. They won 3 and 4 years, and then they didn't win for a very long time. That's my point. So it's no a dynasty is like, yo, who's gonna win that year. And the Patriots didn't feel like that for a long time. So
I mean, regardless, you could always count on the Packers to at least make a playoff run every year. It's almost like a staple. You almost don't have NFL playoff without the Packers. You know what I mean? It's just one of those teams that you're always going to consistently face when you get to the playoffs. I personally believe that's coming to an end. You know what I mean? It's going to be difficult for them to go back to the playoffs, especially Devontae Adams is gone. Aaron Rodgers is getting old. His replacement isn't even a fifth of what he is right now. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I do see the stock trending downward for the Packers in the next decade or so.
Yeah, you're right. This could be this could be a change in a lot of teams, especially the historic ones that we're used to seeing in the playoffs, as you mentioned. So we'll see what happens with the Patriots. I think the Patriots, they could trend downwards as well. They're in an easy division. That's the only thing. They're in a division with the Dolphins. They're in a division with the Jets. So those are two teams that you can count on to not be there when it matters. So the Bills are definitely going to win the division. But if there's another team in that division that will make the playoffs, it's definitely the Patriots.
Well, I don't see nothing special in Mac Jones, but that's just the Dolphin fan in me speaking. And the commissioner's right. The football gods have smiled upon Green Bay, Wisconsin for far too long. No franchise is going to, who's had back-to-back Hall of Fame QBs, going to end up with a third straight one. So dark times coming in Green Bay, and I wanna bring something up. And me as a Dolphin, it's not easy to like talk about. But back to that young QB topic, last year, what do you guys think? Just a 1-year fluke, or did Josh Allen really establish himself as one of the top QBs in the league?
He's definitely established. I mean, what he's done up to this point has been amazing for the Bills. I think he's a batch of fresh air for them, man. That's exactly what the Bills needed. It surprised me because I could have sworn the Dolphins were about to take over the division now that the Patriots are kind of out of the picture. And what he's done up to this point has just been incredible. I think we're gonna see a lot more of the same this upcoming season, and it's definitely gonna be the Bills and Dolphins duking it out for the division this year, in my opinion.
Man, Buffalo. Oh my God, bro! I'm Stephon Diggs.
Crazy.
The first year in Buffalo, and he turns Josh Allen into a Pro Bowl quarterback. It's insane that he's there and he's young. This is his 4th season coming up, so I still consider him, as some of the new face, some of something fresh in the league as far as QBs go. And that matchup that he had with Patrick last year, oh my God,
Yep.
that game was legendary.
The Dolphins will not be there when it matters. Let's get that straight. I can guarantee you this is the Bills division by a mile. This is the easiest division to predict in the last 20 years. It's going to be the Bills division. This is not a fluke year he had. He's that guy. He's QB 2, 3, 4 at worst. He's that guy. Let's not forget, he's getting everyone jobs around him. All those old coaches, they're now coaching the Giants. And now, was it the coaching or was it Josh Allen? And me, as a Giants fan, I'll tell you, I think it was Josh Allen getting everybody jobs now. You know, so
Man, we'll see. We'll
see.
see. We'll see. We'll
Well,
see. I can't wait to use this snippet.
young quarterbacks, we got Jalen Hurts. In my opinion, as an Eagles fan myself, he has a lot to prove. He's stacked this year. There's no excuses. At this point, he got to get us to the playoffs. These young QBs, let's see, Daniel Dimes for the Giants. He has to, figure something out, has to figure out a way to win with the Giants and put up some decent stats. I think he's also in trouble right now. I think the Giants are heavily considering replacing him if he doesn't come through this season. So there's quite a few young QBs, man, that need to do work. All eyes are on Derek Carr. I know he's not the youngest of quarterbacks, but I think for the first time in his career, he definitely has a bulletproof squad and on the West Coast. And if they don't make something happen, I think that in the near future, he might end up getting traded for somebody of higher caliber. But these young QBs have a lot to prove, man. I mentioned Justin Herbert. He's ready to go. What type of picks you guys got?
Lamar Jackson, another guy with a nice little bullseye behind his back now. Last year, terrible season. What's going to happen? 2 years removed from a stellar MVP performance. Stock down, stock up. What's your take?
I think his stock took a hit because he had that bad. However, he did win the MVP the year before that. So that's what he has as his leverage, that he's going to play like that in the upcoming years. However, I think he's going to take his contract now before the season starts. I don't think he'll take another chance on his injury status to try to play out the year. I think he'll sign before then because I don't think he has another MVP season the way he had. Like he's going to be a problem, but I don't think he's going to be an elite passer. He's not an elite passer. His greatest gift is that he runs at an unusual speed, which is just faster than everyone. But as far as staying healthy, his playing style, like you don't want to play another year like that without signing that contract. He'll get paid, and then the Ravens will suck for a long time. And that's just how it's going to be.
Well, so I see the legendary Zach Wilson, the man, the myth, the legend in your background. Do elaborate, Mr. Bones. Do elaborate on the latest greatest before we get up out of here.
The real Stiffmeister, Sack, Finchy, Jones. Look at that guy. Look at that guy. Look at that guy. Look at that chin.
Should run for president.
That man right now is looking at a cougar no older than 45 years old.
Legendary stickman of drastic proportions. He's definitely going to take the Jets to the playoffs this year, baby.
This man has single-handedly lit Twitter on fire. Players from other teams writing to him and giving him props. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with him. They calling him Stifler's mom's, boy toy. So we'll see. We'll see what he does, man. I don't think he's gonna do anything this year. He's on the Jets. Let's not forget. So this is what
he's on the Jets.
What the Jets are known for. They make headlines and everything but football on the field. So we'll see.
We'll see about that.
And that's all the time that we have for today, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, drop a comment. We would love to hear from you guys. Engage in the Final Fantasy football that's coming up. Raw Fantasy Sports. I am your host, Jerry, my co-host, Bones and X. We'll be back next week with another episode of that fire, guys. Just check us out. We'll be on Spotify as well. Raw Fantasy Sports. See you later, guys.
Peace.